say that it's not just absence of disease, but and physical, mental, social well-being. Now, can anybody tell me what is a well-being? What is well-being? But unless you know what well-being, how can you know what is the state? Can anybody say it? But can anybody say disease? Absence of disease, when we say absence of disease, is it relatively easy to know what is disease than well-being? Because if you want to know disease, if you want to diagnose disease, you have various ways of diagnosing disease. You can go to a pathology report, and from pathology report you can know several things. Is there any report which can tell you whether you have well-being or not? Have you seen any other which can tell you whether you have well-being? But you have the report which can tell you what is disease, right? So in the definition, there is a major issue. The definition is telling you something as a state which you don't know what it is. And the definition is telling you, don't consider health as just absence of disease, which you know what it is. So Amla, who is here, she is a business management student, HR student, and there is one principle in management. What you know, you can manage. What you don't know, you cannot manage. So here in the definition, what we know disease. And therefore the whole focus came on disease management. And the core of health or well-being was lost. And so our entire system became treatment-oriented, cure-specific. Whereas our original thought, original philosophy, original heritage is not really disease. It is about health. It is about swasthya. I have not seen a more profound definition or expression of health as swasthya. Because health is also connected with healing. Healing is connected with disease. But swasthya is not connected with disease. Simple meaning of swasthya, can somebody tell me? Ayurveda student should be able to tell me meaning of swasthya. What it is? Swayam mein sthit in Hindi, if you say. At bliss within. So when you are, and the definition what Ayurveda gives, in short, prasanna atmendriya mana. Prasanna atmendriya mana. So there is no question of any disease. They are talking about your body, your mind, your soul. And if you are calm, was our original knowledge. But what happened during especially the colonial period, when the Western medicine was ready to come, and so we were managing our health fairly well. Maybe the expectancy of life was less, but the quality of life was not less. Today, the expectancy may have increased, average age may have increased, but quality of life, whether it has increased or not, is a question we have to ask ourselves. People may be living longer, but are they really healthy? Are they really happy? Is a question. I must tell you that on an average, a geriatric population in the rich countries, they have to take on an average 5 to 6 medicines. Without that, they cannot survive. So what is this quality of life? If you are really eating medicines as food, as against our philosophy is telling, make your food as medicine. Charaka is telling you that if you have a good food and good lifestyle, you don't need medicine. And if you don't have good food, good nutrition, good lifestyle, then medicine also may not help you. So, there are 4 determinants of health, only 4, and those 4 determinants are like 4 pillars of any building. Any building, if it wants to stand, it needs 4, so that the roof can be stable, right? 4 pillars, we call them as 4 pillars. Can you tell me which are those 4 pillars of health? In education, health education, we call them as determinants of health. One by one we will see. Raise hands who want to try. Just 4 words, determinants of health, which will decide whether a person or individual will be healthy or not. Yes, say loudly, doesn't matter even if you go wrong. Biology is one term, but not that overarching term I am looking at. Yes, more. Somebody who gives you more try. 4 core determinants of health which will decide. They are very simple actually. And my intent of coming to you is try to make you think, because in today's education system we have stopped you from thinking. Agreed? We are giving you ready-made material. We are telling you recite Charak, recite Sushmut, recite Bhagavad. Don't think on your own. Only reproduce what I am telling you as answers in examination.
You have to learn from each other, otherwise we don't know our mind ourselves. You put in? Awesome. 45 out of 62 people, right? So for all of y'all, anybody who wants to tell me publicly if the name is? Awesome. So we don't know, only one guy was wondering. The others who did joint study also failed. Because if you copy from a guy who's wrong, you'll get wrong answer only. So trick question, right? So you got this, you're getting, yeah, so we'll make this fun. We'll make this enjoyable. And last question for you all, okay? So Chief Minister was not, he just inaugurated it. The session was, chief guest was Dr. Padma Bhushan Illa, and he's not there on this name. But I love the fact that 5 people think that Agam Band is the reason why they have come. That's the cool thing happening around, yeah? So next one. Okay, so why the hell are you come here? Why are you here? Because this is a lot to suffer other than the Angamali girl who bunked the class and came. Why did you come here? It's amazing how much collective lying can happen, right? That red line that is growing there, I'm sure is a complete lie. You didn't come here for that, right? You really came for that? You didn't reply, right? Why did you come? What's your choice? You want to say that, I want to believe you. Okay, great, awesome. So anybody, you guys got to know how the technology works, okay? All of you all know, so now we'll start. So I have got 2 people today with me who, on behalf of ASAP and PSS 223, I'm going to invite. And the first is a very, very young man. He's just about 10 years older than you, right? And he went on to create, he's actually an engineer by profession. He studied engineering and did an engineering job. He thought he loved engineering. He then said that he must do something more in his life, study a little more, and then went and did management. And where? IIM Ahmedabad, top school, okay? Top school guy could have got the job in the world that he could have got, decides to come back and work in Kerala, right? And start his own sportswear company. So I'm going to ask you all to give a big round of applause for this guy, Rajiv Rakesh. And can I have somebody come and give him a, okay, come dude, am I scaring you? Like your old bad teacher in school? So that guy is Rajiv, right? And he's going to answer a whole lot of questions that we're going to do this. I don't think the round of applause was good enough. Let's do it like that. Okay, great. Rajiv, please. The next guy I've got is a person I have worked with for 10 years, right? And I knew him as just another guy who was my, somebody I just socially knew. And when I learned about him and knew about him, is you learn the entire story exactly opposite to what Raj may have come from, in the sense that he had an engineering degree, he went to IIM Ahmedabad, and this guy is now running a 100 crore odd company, a set of 4 or 5 companies in diversified area, and all of this he did with nothing but the intention to succeed in his life. He is a graduate, he's done his formal education, but he started working much before that. And you will find that common with Raji, right? So today this company works in different spaces, which he started as packing and moving. He's now going to be investing in a company that's going to be a big internet startup. He's already got something into logistics. He's moved into records and record management, where data is stored, right? That kind of company. So I'm going to ask the next guy to come on stage, and that is friend, client, but most important, I believe, is a man from whom I learn every day. Very pious, very religious, deeply humble in his nature, a guy who never likes talking about himself. Rijesh AV, the chairman of Transworld International, based out of here today. Thank you, Rijesh. Please. So the way this session is planned today is that we will have 10 questions and 2 hours to complete this, right? I'm going to put the question up, and then I'm going to use you as a voice of you. I will ask some questions to them. And hopefully through this 2 hours and these 10 questions, we will learn something that makes people succeed like they have, right? Because that's the class that we can take over here, and something that you go back thinking about what was your idea of something and whether the idea turned out to be the way it ought to be, right? Game? So we'll put the next question on the screen for you. This is one you have to answer. So if you are ready, this is the next question that you have to pick up and answer, and I'm going to ask both of them to their thought on this as well. Okay, from there we'll do. And at any time through the conversation, you can ask a question at any point of time. And this is not very far away, so if that last row picks up their chair and comes along one line over here, that'll be nice. So you can come closer. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a problem overhearing some people as well. Just take one chair and come and put it here. Yeah? Okay. So, put the question. So, first question is that, you got your education, your parents sent you to school, but how confident do you think ആൾക്കാരുടെ മുമ്പ് നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കാൻ മുമ്പിൽ നമുക്ക് സംസാരിക്കേണ്ട ആ കോൺഫിഡൻസ് എത്രയുണ്ട് എങ്ങനത്തെ ആൾക്കാർ ലൈക്ക് ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് റിലേറ്റീവ്സ് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് സ്ട്രേഞ്ചേഴ്സ് നമ്മൾ പറയുമ്പം somebody like you go for a job, you meet an interview, so some stranger, right? How confident are you about speaking, right? And I want to see that number come so that you get to hear from them, because there's a very little thing about what these gentlemen must have done. How good were they, right? I'm going to see how that question is, and I'm putting the data up there for them to also answer, and maybe they can give us some feedback, right? Together, collectively, right? So I've got 38 people. We had some 60 people there. So please, everybody, give your feedback, and we'll see what is the problem in the room, right? How good are we if we were told by, okay, stand up and make us 5-minute speech. Can we speak in front of strangers? Can we speak in front of a crowd? Explain if your uncle comes. We think, relatives very easy. Suddenly your uncle goes, right? So with sometimes, go mumbles and tumbles, right? So it just work too well. So here's the number we've got. We've got about 53, that's 55, still going up. We have 65 people connected. So anytime you, in the day today, if you feel that the connect is not coming, remember it's there up there, menti.com, code is 3107484, right? So everybody knows, so if you can join in, you can join in on that. Right, so this is where it is, and absolutely the normal thing to do. We are least confident strangers. We are most confident to the people we speak openly, fearlessly, which is our friends, right? So I'm going to use this and say, I'm going to ask this first with Rijesh, right? So Rijesh grew up in Calicut. Rijesh, you have your mics with you? I'd ask for two. I want second one. So the question is like, so Rijesh, you grew up in Calicut, right? And this was way back in the 90s, early 90s, right? 85, when was it? So tell us what was you, how was the young Rijesh, 19, 22 years old, what was his level of confidence? I know you started your career before that. So if you had to go back, how would you rate yourself as ability to talk to strangers about things? No, sit, stand, whatever, however you're comfortable. This is, I'm sure they're okay.
Good morning, everyone.
No, a little bit.
Hello.
Huh.
ഏകദേശം ഒരു
ഇല്ല.
18ാമത്തെ വയസ്സിലാണ്.
You want to sit here?
Yeah.
Otherwise, this will keep this thing.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
ഏകദേശം ഒരു 18ാമത്തെ വയസ്സിലാണ് ഞാൻ ജോലി ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങിയത്. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏകദേശം ഇപ്പം ആലോചിക്കാം. ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഏകദേശം 20 years ആയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. എൻ്റെ മകൾക്കും ഇന്ന് 20 years ആയി. BBAക്ക് പഠിക്കുന്നു, പൂനെയിലാണ്. അപ്പം പൊതുവേ നിങ്ങൾ ഈ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ നിങ്ങളുടെ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ സത്യത്തിൽ ഇന്ന് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന ഇതുപോലുള്ളൊരു ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി അന്ന് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. അന്ന് നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നു, പഠിച്ചു കഴിയുമ്പോഴേക്ക് പാരൻസ് എവിടെയെങ്കിലും ഒരു ജോലി നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മളോട് തന്നെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറയുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതിനുള്ളൊരു പ്രഷർ അറിയില്ല നെക്സ്റ്റ് നമ്മളെങ്ങോട്ട് പോകുന്നുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ പൊതുവേ ഒരു പബ്ലിക് സ്പീക്കിംഗ് നമുക്ക് ആ സമയത്തൊന്നും നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമുക്ക് സാധ്യമായിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഒരു വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലമാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് മീഡിയം പഠിച്ചാലും നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ നിന്നും വിട്ട് വേറെ ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനത്ത് പോകുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് സംസാരിക്കാൻ നമുക്ക് കുറച്ച് പ്രയാസം ഉണ്ടാവും. ഇത് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുവരുന്നൊരു പ്രോബ്ലമാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഗ്രാജുവലി നമ്മളത് പഠിച്ചെടുക്കും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ 12th കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം ഐ മൂവ് ടു ബാംഗ്ലൂർ. ഐ ഗോട്ട് എൻ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി ടു വർക്ക് ഫോർ എ കമ്പനി ഇൻ ബാംഗ്ലൂർ. മൈ ഫസ്റ്റ് ജോബ്, ഐ വർക്ക് with that company for almost 3 years. Got another opportunity to work for an American European company which came to India in my same field. It's called Allied Pickfords. Allied Van Lines is an American company. Pickfords is a UK company. Got my second opportunity to work with them. Started to manage their business, the operations for them in South India. And in 1999, I started my own business in Bangalore. A partnership firm was formed with 7 people. So that is the beginning. I think I'll talk about
Rijesh,
the other thing later.
Yeah, but Rijesh, the question I think I'm
I'm coming to that, public talk.
Ah.
Right, so that's what I said. So in fact, we didn't have the opportunity when we were in Calicut. I mean, we can only talk to friends, relatives, and probably I think I was very shy even to ask questions to teachers. But gradually, today what you have chosen, your option, what you actually took today, you can't sustain or survive in this without talking to public, right? Because whether you get into an entrepreneurship or whether you work for a company, in fact, the Padma Bhushan doctor was talking about many of his areas, but I think the people who are sitting here has a big role to play in anything that you start in this country. Because I remember, just before Bimal, you get into the next thing, I would like to say something about one of the startup meetings that I attended in Bangalore in Hotel Leela, where Infosys, one of the directors, Mohandas Pai, was one of the speakers. So where he quoted, after his speech, there was a question asked by a lady that she's a good entrepreneur. She started her own firm about 5 or 6 years ago, and she is manufacturing a particular technology-based product. But the biggest problem what she faces is basically she is not able to sell the product. So this is the role that you would actually be managing in your career. I mean, whether you become an entrepreneur or whether you take up sales and marketing in future. So this question was asked by her, and a very good answer he gave, even though it was a startup investment meet. The question was asked is basically that you're able to make a good product, but you're not able to sell the product. So he said this is one problem that he saw with India. So it is just not with the people who are sitting here. He said he was in charge for Infosys for US for about 6 years during his period. When he was in US, he found that people in India, usually I think I'll put this in Malayalam, ഒരു മൊബൈൽ ഒരു $25 വർത്ത് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മൊബൈൽ നമ്മൾ വിൽക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത്, ഒരു ഇന്ത്യൻ അത് വിൽക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത്, അത് ഒരു I would put it the other way, actually an American ഒരു മൊബൈൽ നമ്മൾ വിൽക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് $25 വർത്ത് മൊബൈൽ അവരൊരു $100 വിൽക്കുക. അത് വിറ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ they will make the person who bought it feel happy for having purchased it for $100. ആ ഒരു കംഫർട്ട് വാങ്ങുന്ന ആൾക്ക് കിട്ടും. ഒരു സാധാരണ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു $25 വർത്ത് മൊബൈൽ ഒരു $100 വിൽക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് അത് വാങ്ങിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്ക് ആ $100 കംഫർട്ട് ഒരു അമേരിക്കൻ സെയിൽസിൽ കൊടുക്കും. അതേ സമയത്ത് ഒരു ഇന്ത്യൻ അത് വിൽക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് അത് ഒരു $100 വർത്ത് സാധനമാണെങ്കിൽ അതൊരു $25 വിറ്റിട്ട് he himself will feel proud for having sold it. സ്വയം തോന്നും ഞാനത് വിറ്റു. അപ്പോൾ സെയിൽസിൽ ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആസ്പെക്റ്റ് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മൾക്കത് വിൽക്കാൻ അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം അത് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കണം. Especially when you are approaching a customer will not be your friend, customer will not be your neighbor, it won't be your teachers or relatives. These are strangers actually. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം തുടങ്ങേണ്ടത് actually നമ്മൾ സംസാരിച്ച് തുടങ്ങണം. So we need to speak. We might have problem with our language initially. നിങ്ങളെക്കാളും മോശമായിരുന്നു ഞാൻ ബാംഗ്ലൂരിലേക്ക് മൈഗ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് എൻ്റെ ലാംഗ്വേജ്. ബട്ട് കൺസിസ്റ്റൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഇംപ്രൂവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ലാംഗ്വേജിനെ എടുത്തതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അത് നിങ്ങൾക്കും നാളെ നിങ്ങളുടെ കരിയറിൽ നിങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെയാണോ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, നിങ്ങളുടെ എൻ്റർപ്രണർഷിപ്പ് ആയാലും ശരി, ഇല്ല നിങ്ങൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്താലും എങ്ങനെയായാലും ഐ വുഡ് സേ ബേസിക്കലി ഒരു എൻ്റർപ്രണർഷിപ്പ് എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ ഒരു സ്വന്തമായിട്ട് കമ്പനി തുടങ്ങുന്നതിൻ്റെ മുമ്പേ എപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് സമയം ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസേഷനിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാലേ ആ ഒരു എൻവയൺമെൻറ്റും ആ ഒരു സ്കിൽസും ആ ഒരു കൾച്ചറും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടും.
Many people now are coming, no, I want to do Ayurveda, I want to do homeopathy, irrespective of what they are able to get. So this change is coming up, and therefore I told you that for career, professional career, you are fortunate than your earlier generation. Your earlier generation suffered actually quite a lot than what, so your teachers must have suffered quite a lot. You are in much better world, because world is now more awake to respect others because they have understood the limitations of whatever is with us at present. So we may, how do you want to do? You want to complete first Ayurveda and then start with homeopathy, or you want to listen to homeopathy and then get questions common? How do you want to do? Homeopathy, what?
Thank you, sir. It was a very informative session, even for a person who is outside the, purview of Ayurveda and homeopathy. So it was a very intuitive session. I would very much look forward to the questions coming up for the session anyhow. So thank you, sir. We'll come back to you after we have a session on homeopathy. As I mentioned, we have Dr. Jose Isaac, who is an accomplished homeopathic practitioner and an educationist with more than 30 years of experience. He holds various degrees from both Indian and foreign universities. Dr. Jose was initially a medical officer under the Department of Homeopathy, Government of Kerala in 1991. He was then the head of department and professor in the Government Homeopathic Medical College, Trivandrum, and had taken voluntary retirement in 2017. He is now a visiting professor in the Friendship University in Moscow. He is also the director of the Dr. Isaac Homeopathy Center and Dr. Isaac's Academy of Homeopathy, Trivandrum. He has been closely associated with various universities in Kerala as a faculty member, board member, and chairman of various boards, committees, and councils based in Kerala and Karnataka in the field of homeopathy. He was the former president of Kerala Homeo Medical Graduates Association. He rendered his service in various national and international level organizations as a former consultant in NCH Medical Center, Penang, Malaysia, and a visiting professor in the Faculty of Homeopathy, Malaysia. He has participated in various national and international conferences and presented papers at the Asian Homeopathic Medical League Conference at New Delhi, Colombo, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Russia, USA, and Canada during the period 2010 to 2020. He had conducted seminars in various countries like Russia, USA, Hungary, Latvia, Canada, etc. He has been honored with Best Homeopathic Educationist Award by Dr. Mahendra Singh Memorial Trust on the national level. I welcome you, sir, to the next session on homeopathy.
Can you hear me? Okay. Respected sir, dear colleagues, students of Ayurveda and Homeopathy. Actually, when NC contacted me, I just prepared a slide for the PowerPoint presentation. Next. Where homeopathy stands now and what is the future of homeopathy or other alternative systems. Next. We'll just go through the slide first and we will go. Next. Next. The history of homeopathy starts in 1813 in India. The Central Council of Homeopathy Bill was passed in 1973 in the Parliament. Now we have three government bodies like the National Commission for Homeopathy, Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, and the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory in Ghaziabad. See, the National Commission for Homeopathy previously was known as CCH. I was a member for 10 years. So it controls the education and practice of homeopathy in India. Next. So we have a 3-year postgraduate course, 5.5 years degree course and 3-year postgraduate course. Now many universities are conducting PhD programs for homeopathy, including the Jawaharlal Nehru University. We have the postgraduate courses in 7 subjects. See, many times people ask the question whether homeopathy has any research papers and all, and also you hear in the media and the television some comments about where is the evidence, where is the evidence. The evidence is there. You can go through the research papers in the Central Council of Research and you can get hundreds of research papers and evidences. Next. See, there are 28 research centers under the Central Council of Homeopathy in India. Next. We have 252 homeopathic colleges in India, and out of that 50 have postgraduate courses. Around 30,000 students are taking admission in the homeopathic colleges all over India. Next. 50 pharmaceutical companies are there in India for homeopathy. 3 lakh registered homeopathic practitioners. Around 30,000 government level dispensaries are there throughout India, and around 1 lakh homeopathic private institutions. In Kerala, we have 1,070 government institutions, and this part is very important because when you look at it, you can see 1,70,000 people are going to the homeopathic dispensaries every day in Kerala. This is the report by the government in 2019. Why I have put the 2019 report is because in 2021, 22, many of the hospitals were converted to CHP centers and all that. So we don't have a real statistical data about the number of patients coming to the homeopathic institutions, especially the government ones. So this is the next. We have 5 colleges, 2 in the government sector and 3 in the private sector. But in private sector also is aided by the government. See, this is one report which many, even the alternative system students and the practitioners also does not know. You might have heard on the TV and all that the alternative systems are there only in India, and most of them are not recognized by the WHO and all this. These type of allegations we are hearing for the last so many years. So my request to these people are, just go through the World Health Organization report of the May 2019. It is available in the internet and all, you can just Google and see. There the most popular ones are Homeopathy, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, acupuncture also. And this report says that this is a 5-year study conducted by WHO in its member countries, around 192 member countries, and it is prepared from the data given by the respective governments, not by homeopaths, not by Ayurveda people, or not by any alternative system doctors. Next. I just quoted only the homeopathy part. Ayurveda also has almost a similar report. So you must read this report. You can see how the alternative systems are coming up in the world, although that is called many names like complementary systems of medicine and all those. But what I want to say is, there is an area, there is a space for alternative systems. And that is growing and growing in every country. So if you read this report, you can see that this is just a part of the homeopathy that I took. So it shows the growing popularity of the alternative systems. Homeopathy is practiced in over 100 countries and regulated in 44 countries. That means the government is regulating. That means there are certain rules and regulations to practice homeopathy in 44 countries around the world. More than 100 million people are using homeopathy. Of course, maybe only 30% are going to the doctors. Many of them are using products from the homeopathic pharmacies. In Ayurveda also the same thing. Maybe only 30% are going to the doctor. Another 70% is taking Ayurvedic medicines directly from the pharmacy or through the outlets. Next. There is a saying that homeopathy is banned in America. In the last 15 years, I have visited America around 25 times in connection with the homeopathy alone. And 5 million adults and 1 million children are undergoing homeopathy treatment every year, and it is growing. And it's a $1.2 billion industry in America in 2019. And it is more popular in the South American countries like Brazil, Cuba, etc. And many states of America, you can get insurance coverage for homeopathy also. And many academies are running homeopathic courses in America. Next. See, the reason for the popularity of alternative systems, it's because reduction in unnecessary antibiotic usage, reduction cost to treat respiratory diseases, improvements in perimenopausal depression, and improved health outcomes in chronically ill patients. This study was done by Harvard School of Public Health and published in the American Journal of Public Health. You can see this. See, it just shows the scope of the alternative systems. In the West, what we see now is they have gone to one extent too far. The material science has gone too far, and now everybody started talking about the side effects of antibiotics. And people are looking for an alternative. And this alternative comes from India. We are the only country which has got an Ayush ministry. Actually, we are the leaders in Ayush systems. And we could be the leaders of alternative systems in the world. Only if we follow certain the principles of each system. What they want is the real Ayurveda, the real homeopathy, the real Chinese medicine. That's what people are looking for. But even in India we know, it is a little bit difficult to see this. Because many people are interested, and I myself have been asked by many people, can you show an institute of international standard where pure Ayurveda is taught, where pure homeopathy is taught, or whether you have an institution where we can go for treatment for pure Ayurveda or pure homeopathy? We have to think about it. You know, in India, maybe many of you don't coming to India for Ayurvedic treatment. This is the potential. And every year the number is increasing. But where is our institutions? Where are our doctors? They just go to a tourist center, take a massage, and the name of Ayurveda, and they go back. But now more and more people are slowly becoming aware of this problem, and they are trying to see whether there is genuine institutions which can cater to the needs of them. We all know that in diabetes, for example, the only medicine now available is the metformin in different forms, made by different companies, different brands, and then insulin. But other systems can do a lot. When I traveled around 20 countries, gave lectures on homeopathy, and the question many times is, for example, cancer. What is the management? Radiation, chemotherapy, or surgical removal of that part? These are the only three things. But alternative systems can provide some things that can prevent the tendency for the formation of this tumor or carcinoma, or also we have a space in the cancer treatment also, in between the chemos, or in between the radiations, or after the radiation or chemo or surgery is done, after that, or before going into this treatment. People, we have remedies, we have medicines. As doctor was saying, slowly the world is changing to, we are slowly coming to the individualized medicine. What is this individualized medicine? The alternative systems have this individualized medicine. And people are slowly going into that, even genetic engineering. You all know that they are looking for the genes of cancer, genes of diabetes. See, we were all saying that, all the alternative systems were saying that one of the most important factors for the cause of these diseases are genetic. Genetic first. Then all other lifestyle, many others comes. So who is treating the genes? I don't know much about Ayurveda. The Vata, Pitta, Kapha theory is there, which we have the Mayasam theory which explains the cause of all the chronic diseases. And there is a scope for an area for these alternative systems, which is yet not explored properly. But the beginning is already there, started already. And in the next few decades, one time one student asked me this question, "Sir, why there are no big institutions or hospitals for alternative systems? And what will be the future?" Because you know, corporatization is going on now, commercialization, all these are going on. And what will be the scope of these alternative systems? My answer was, you look at the statistical data, how the pharmacies are growing in the alternative sector. Second thing is, now we know that all these corporate hospitals and all are run not by doctors. Some 30 years ago, most of our hospitals in Kerala must belong to some doctor. Now it is not like that. It's all corporates. Big corporates are taking over. They are also watching what is going on in these alternative systems. And they also know that many people are not cured. People are going or looking for something curative. So what is going to happen the next decade will be, Every corporate hospital will start going for alternative systems. This is the next opportunity waiting for you all. All the cooperative hospitals already started. I know in Delhi, one of the most popular one, Gangaram Hospital, has 8 OPDs for homeopathy and around 9 or 10 for Ayurveda. This is what is going to happen next. Of course, we are a little bit slow, maybe because we don't have the support and the money backing from the pharma companies. But still, the truth is truth and it will grow, no doubt about it. When I was a student, I remember of course, when we are students, when I was student also, it was like that. We were always looking for what is the opportunity or for a job after finishing the college. And what is the opportunity for further studies. So here, at that time in homeopathy, there was no MD courses. But now we have the MD course, PhD course, run by many universities. Yesterday, one of my old student who came to see me, told me that she got admission to the JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University for PhD with a stipend of 75,000 rupees. We could never dream about that. So things are changing and the world is looking towards India and the higher systems, because we know that allopathy has reached its peak and they are also looking for this. They want a cure. So far people are happy with managing the diseases. You know, all the chronic diseases, the main chronic diseases like diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol or hyperthyroidism. You know, all these, there is no cure in modern days. And the alternative system, people are looking into that. Because there was a period when people were just happy with whatever medicine they are getting. Now it is slowly changing. People are started asking questions, whether this medicine can cure me or not. I want a curative system of treatment. Also, people are becoming more and more aware of the side effects of the medicines and all. And also people are looking into the statistical data. Even the vaccines. The average effectiveness is only 70%. If you look at the whole vaccines, so the 30% belongs to you. Antibiotics. Why in the West there is so much demand for iron systems? Mainly because people are aware of the side effects of the antibiotics. And as doctor has said, around 40% of the diseases or patients whom we meet today come with the side effects of the chemical medicines. So people wanted to go back to the roots, which is safe, simple, and more towards the nature. Of course, there are certain areas which we could not explain, but the phenomena is there, the effect is there. Of course, in Ayurveda also it is there, homeopathy also is there. We could not explain certain areas, why some of our medicines are acting or curing diseases. Many people want to know about it. The problem is only this. I can tell you the example of homeopathy. Till 2010, many people thought that homeopathy is a placebo system of medicine. And during our student days, we were told that homeopathic medicines, we can show the presence of homeopathic medicines only up to the 12th potency, according to the Avogadro's principle. But in 2010, Dr. Jayesh Dallare and his team from IIT Mumbai studied some medicines which were brought just from the shops, procured from the shops of different companies. They conducted studies and they came out with the report that homeopathic medicines can be detected up to the 200 potency. So from 12 to 200. How it happened? It happened because a new science came, nanotechnology came, a new technology came. And so that maybe in future, our potencies, in the 1,000 potency or 10,000 potency, 50,000 potency, the science will be able to detect the presence of the medicinal material in it. Likewise, there are many things in Ayurveda also which I am not an expert. But why these potency systems are thriving for the last 5,000 years? Ayurveda is one of the oldest. You cannot say it is just a placebo. You cannot just say there is no evidence. The phenomena is there and the effect is there. You can feel the effect. That's why people are going for that. But if the technology cannot show it or prove it, it is the defect of the technology. Or we were ahead of the technology and science that was available in the West. And if the technology improves, when new science comes, our systems will be the one which will be found the best in the world. That's why now there is two things in the thoughts are going like this. One is the genetic medicine, trying to find the gene for each and every chronic disease. Second, people are looking for the safest methods. Many of us know, all around the world, every doctor accepts the fact that many of the diseases which we treat now are due to the iatrogenic diseases. But as doctors have said, they put a beautiful name now, a different name. They are not ready to say that it's medical negligence or medical accidents or something, but they put it in a different, better, beautiful name. That's all. All these things are true. Also surgery. Actually, there was a patent for surgery, Indians would have got it. Ayurveda would have got it. Recently, Government of India allowed Ayurvedic doctors to do some 38 surgeries. In one media, one channel, three doctors from all the three main systems like Ayurveda, Homeopathy and Ayurveda, modern science were called, and there was a discussion. So the Ayurvedic doctor was saying that Ayurvedic people should not be allowed to allowed to do these surgeries. My question was, where did the surgery come from? It came from, through, you all know, Sushruta and Ayurveda. So because we were in this part of the world, they forgot to take the patent. If Sushruta took the patent, Ayurvedic doctors should have been the surgeons and the other systems cannot. Follow what I mean? So, the main thing is, one more thing. When we look at the history of surgeries, in any book you will not see the name of Sushruta, you will see only the name of John Hunter, the father of surgery. So, you can imagine how the Eastern countries are, not given the due acceptance and share by the Western countries. Also we know, when I was a student, I was a school student, 50% of my classmates don't have tonsil because tonsillectomy was done in a very large scale and no tonsil. Then after 10 years, appendicectomy became the most important one or prominent one. And if the doctor opens your stomach, he will definitely remove appendix. Whether it is diseased or not, whatever it is, it will be removed. Then came hysterectomy. Any woman having bleeding will be, this hysterectomy will be done. Now, gynecologists also say it is not very good. Now the percentage of these surgeries have come down to even 20% of what they were doing some 10 or 15 years back. Then came, now the latest is prostate and prostatectomy. That is the answer for this. After 10 years, they will move to another organ. The target organ will be different. See, look at the history. You are all medical students, you know these things. Now tonsillectomy, not even 10% of what is done 50 years back or 30 years back. Then what does the WHO says? WHO says you go for some other treatments other than antibiotics and surgery. Then what about the new diseases that are coming now? New disease means like COVID-19, we had a H1N1, we had many such new things in the last 20 years. We also know that COVID-19, which is the recent one, not a single school child died of COVID-19 in Kerala. But all the school children were vaccinated. All school children were vaccinated, compulsorily. One time I thought, why can't we buy a water purifier for each school to provide a good water, drinking water? That would have avoided many diseases. Why can't we provide a good toilet for each school that could provide, give you more health? But still, this is all copying the Western methods and everything. And it has its crowd. And so things are different. Next. So these are the colleges in Canada. Next. In Europe, 40 out of 42 European countries have homeopathy. Gulf countries, we know around 70% of the homeopathic doctors in Gulf countries are from Kerala. Is the report by NIC. Next. But Ayurveda has more inpatients than homeopathy. Next. See, this is a very important one. They are predicting 14% improvement in the pharmaceutical industry from 2019 to 2027 for homeopathy. And expected to grow to $18 billion in 2027. A very fast growth for the alternative system. Now previously it is very difficult to treat a patient in America or somewhere or another different country with homeopathy. Now it is available throughout the world. In any corner of the world it is available through Amazon, Flipkart, everything, thanks to COVID. See, previously when I was a student of DHMS, there was no scope for postgraduate study and also for a PhD or any other field we cannot go. The same with Ayurveda also, BAMS also, BHMS. So now it is treated as equivalent to any degree anywhere in the world. Recently I met in the flight one of my students. She went to America because her husband is a software engineer. And she is studying for Masters in Public Health, MPH, in Maryland University. in America. So this is the scope. You know, even though the field is small, the scope is wide. And people are looking towards something new, some other methods, rather than the well-tried ones. Even the, you know, the material science and dynamic science, there is we want both. We want both. The dynamic science should be there, the material science. Slowly, what is dynamic will turn to be a material one, when technology advances or science advances. Next. 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 So this just to show that how much interest is shown by people around the world. I was just conducting a 4-day seminar on homeopathy. This is from Hungary. This is from Moscow. This is from one in India now. This is Vladivostok, St. Petersburg. This is in Siberia. So this is a pharmacy which I myself did not know that it is there. This is a pharmacy in Latvia, Riga, the capital of Latvia, which was started in 1833, still there, one of the oldest. Next. In Austria, the St. Petersburg pharmacy. We don't have a shop here in Kerala. So this is just to show you that there is a great scope. The only thing is, stick on to the real things. Don't imitate another system. Don't go to another path. What you need is, stick on to this. What if you have studied Ayurveda? You go to the maximum possible level and practice it in proper way, according to its principles. Unless and until you practice according to the principle, the full potential of that system cannot come out. There are indefinite possibilities. Those who stick on to the real ones. Our problem is lack of confidence. In Europe, allopathic doctors are practicing homeopathy. Lots of people are turning towards homeopathy, Ayurveda. But Ayurveda have solved some problems, because I talked to one Ayurvedic center, one person who is running an Ayurvedic center in Moscow. What he was saying is, there are two problems. One, to get the genuine medicines. That's a big problem. And to treat one patient, because of course everybody is more interested in the massage and everything that procedures. And to treat one patient, you require a lot of medicines, which they have to import from India. That is one of the biggest hurdles. I'm just telling you the facts. The feedbacks I got from different people, because whenever I go abroad, I usually look into the status of our Ayurveda, homeopathy, etc., etc. So what we see is, this is one hurdle in Ayurveda. Also, one of the hurdles in the alternative systems are, actually many quacks are coming into these fields. This is one big problem, not really qualified ones, who just take some part of it and start doing things. I came across many doctors who are, they themselves said that they are doing Ayurveda. But they don't have a place to study Ayurveda or Homeopathy outside India. There are some academies. Some of them came to India, studied here under some doctor or something like that for 2 or 3 months or something, or in some ashrams they studied. But I think we can give them, we are the leaders, so we can give them some courses, or our doctors can be exported to these areas and countries where Ayurveda, Homeopathy, etc. are needed or people are looking for. Actually, many universities are ready to start the courses on alternative systems. And that is another scope that is coming up now. Even in medical research, previously only modern medicine was allowed. They were only looking for the possibilities in the modern medicine. Now, they started looking for other things also, alternative systems. Why so many people are going to these alternative systems. And they also wanted to know whether or how they can utilize or integrate with other alternative systems. That is a possibility. Because they know that there is no cure for many, many diseases. And now people have started looking for it. And also there is no answer for any new diseases which comes up now, like a COVID or something, infectious diseases. When it comes for the first time, they have to identify the virus or bacteria. Then they have to find something that can kill it. This is a procedure. System shows. Increase your immunity. Increase your immunity. Take medicines that can improve your immunity. This is one area for alternative systems. Because most of the alternative systems stimulate the immune mechanism in the body, and the body is throwing out the disease. This is the thing. We are not directly killing a bacteria or a virus or anything. But we create an atmosphere and an environment in our body where the bacteria and viruses cannot exist. We all know that whatever may be the epidemic or pandemic, even COVID, one of the biggest pandemics, could not affect even 80% of the world population. So why? What is the mechanism behind this? Why 80% of the world population is not affected with COVID? That has to be studied. Instead of studying the 20% which are affected by COVID. So when you study this, you can see that the immunity or immune power was much better. So that mechanism is not studied properly. And that mechanism has to be enhanced. This is what we need. So thinking is coming in that way also, slowly. Because there was a time when everybody thought that vaccination is the panacea for all, preventing all the infectious diseases. But now it is a myth. So, other methods has to be explored, other methods has to be looked into and should be developed. And then only the medicine can go to the next step, next level. I think time is over. We have another half an hour. So maybe we can have a question and answer session. Anybody wanted to ask questions, then ask. Any questions? Not only in homeopathy, in alternative systems, don't ask the subject. You can ask anything in Ayurveda. Any questions?
So students, you can please ask your questions. So the morning session you have a lot of inputs. So if you have any questions, you just think of and ask. Homeopathy students.
think somebody has to start and everybody will come. Come on, just ask some questions, we can discuss. We also wanted to know what's the problem you are facing, that also.
Or you can come forward. Give a clap to her.
Once they start, then you will have to stop. That's the problem. There is a starting problem.
Sir, in so many times I face the difficulty that when we explain the basics of Ayurveda, so many students are not understanding, like other stream students. They don't have the background about Ayurveda, so they'll be like questioning what is the evidence about it, and they'll be telling these are all theories. But how can we effectively explain the basics of Ayurveda to them? And is a student exchange program possible for those who are outside of India? They can come to India and study about Ayurveda, and so that the knowledge of Ayurveda will be spread to other countries as well.
Yeah, good question. Actually, before going to other countries, we have to educate our own medical students here in India. And the language or the concepts they don't understand, that is their problem. They have to learn those problems. They have to learn. And there are now courses. We are in a process of creating courses for Ayurveda, yoga and other systems of medicine for allopathic medicine doctors also. So as a part of their curriculum, there are several optional courses. So amongst that, they should be able to see. In India, if you are becoming a doctor, Indian doctor without knowledge of Indian systems of medicine, how that doctor can be served? They have to have some orientation of our own medicine, which is not happening, which is a common practice in China, which is common practice in Japan, which is common practice in many countries. But as I told you earlier, that we are still carrying that colonial burden in our mind, and we have a tendency to look down upon ourselves. So we have to grow up from that, and we have to confidently tell them. I'll give you one example of how. Now, people used to, even I used to ask this question to Ayurvedic people in early 90s, that what research you are doing? Why are you not conducting double-blind placebo-controlled clinical trials? And when they told me that, this is not suitable to us, because we consider every person differently. So I understood. And then in 2000, I wrote an article, and you should read that article, in which I hypothesized that Ayurveda is a designer medicine, or personalized medicine, or individualized medicine. And because my work was more on rheumatoid arthritis, and in rheumatoid arthritis we know that one gene called HLA gene is responsible for this. You may have studied in biochemistry HLA gene. So we showed in a blind study that the HLA gene polymorphism was statistically different distribution of alleles in Vata, Pitta and Kapha. This is for the first time the genotypic and phenotypic correlations were established using Ayurvedic concept of Prakruti. Now the moment you show this, their eyes open. So this work was presented in the US at Cold Spring Symposium on Pharmacogenomics. Now remember, earlier, not very far, earlier also, modern medicine also was thinking that they will give one medicine to all. When genetics started evolving, first time in cancer, they realized that there are 3 genetic subtypes of cancer. So depending on which subtype you belong to, which drug will be suitable to you will be decided. Precisely that's what you are doing in your Ayurvedic practice, the Prakruti Pariksha. Some people will respond good to X drug if they are of particular Prakruti. So then, after that small study, we undertook a national study in which 900 participants we studied, and we studied whole genome. We sequenced whole genome of 900 people, and we showed that for each of the Prakruti there are specific gene signatures. For example, there is a gene called PGM1 gene. Now this gene is responsible for production of energy in our body. The whole energy metabolism is governed by this gene. And we saw that that gene was predominant in Pitta Prakriti. Now what does it show? Now there are known alleles which are responsible. There are something called as drug metabolizing enzymes, DMLOSI. Every drug has to undergo metabolism in our body. And we showed that those who are fast metabolizers, they belong to Pitta Prakriti. Those who are slow metabolizers, they belong to Kapha Prakriti. Now this is connecting directly to Ayurvedic concepts. So Ayurvedic concepts to be studied from modern point of view, and for that the responsibility should be taken by the modern scientists. We cannot ask Ayurvedic Vaidya what research you are doing. I am a biochemist. It is my responsibility to do research on biochemistry of Ayurveda. Ayurvedic Vaidya has done a good clinical practice. So in our system, we are asking wrong questions to wrong people. And not only asking wrong questions, we are humiliating them. So don't get disturbed by all this. You are Ayurvedic graduate, you are in good time, you have to trust your own system, and you have to work honestly to know more about it. You should ask questions. That's what Charak has taught us now, asking questions. Why we have stopped asking questions? That is the problem. We have stopped asking questions. And try to get answers to those questions in today's language. You see, if you look at if you look at the Nobel Prizes, for example, of last 5 years, from 2015, who got the Nobel Prize in 2015? Do you know? UU2. For? Artemisinin. From where artemisinin came? Huh? No. Cinchona, which cinchona bark came? Which medicine came from cinchona bark? Quinine. Yes. Artemisinin came from Chinese medicinal plant, traditional Chinese medicinal plant. That led to Nobel Prize. But still our turmeric, which has so many good properties, we could not take it to that level. Our ashwagandha, our Shatavari, our Guruchi, Giloy. So we need more and more research on this aspect. But that research, not only Ayurvedic people can do alone. We have to include the whole scientific community. Thank you.
My name is Reema Sharan from Vaidaranga Market.
And Kerala state especially is blessed with Ayurveda. The identity of Ayurveda to the world has been given by this state. So you are studying in a state which is a major hub of Ayurveda knowledge. Classical Ayurveda practice has been preserved in this state. Otherwise, many times the practice becomes hodgepodge. That is of no use. And drugs companies also, like Ayurveda Shala Kottakkal, for several years, generation to generation, they are preparing same quality medicines. But now they are also studying modern quality in those medicines. They are ensuring that those medicines are not microbial contaminated, those medicines are not heavy metal contaminated, their medicines are not carrying this pesticide residues. So they are adding that, but they are not changing the classical methodology and classical way to use these medicines.
Thank you so much, Srimo. Next we have Lakshmi Priya, who is ready with next question.
Good morning, sir. My name is Lakshmi Priya. I'm from Tripunithra Ayurveda College. In Ayurvedic syllabus, there has been noted that many portions are outdated and not up to the current level. So, can any measures be taken to avoid that from the syllabus? Like till now, many portions are not being avoided, which is not relevant to the current scenario. So, especially in an era where we are talking more about gender neutrality and other social scenarios, controversial topics exist in Ayurvedic syllabus. So what measures can be taken to avoid?
They are already working on it, and the Ayurvedic curriculum, new curriculum is going to be what they call it as the outcome-based curriculum. You know, what are the outcomes of your teaching? That also they will investigate, and the process is going on. There is a new council which has come up, Indian Council for Indian Systems of Medicine, and they are revising all the existing syllabus. And what we think that outdated, it may not be outdated. It is our conception that it is outdated. Tomorrow we may think that it is not outdated. So the knowledge evolves. The modernity, you know what is the definition of what is modern? Modernity is evolving tradition. Traditions evolve. Greek medicine at one time was Greek traditional medicine. It traveled with modern science and therefore it became allopathy. So, there are good things, there are bad things, and as we progress, we have to take a call and remove, as you are saying, whatever is contemporary, we have to focus on that. Whatever is not relevant, we have to forget it. But for that, science is a yardstick. You know, science as we know today. Because science also changes. As I told you earlier, in science also, people believe that every medicine will be safe. But now they know even aspirin, like tablets. You cannot consider that each aspirin tablet will be working on each one of you in the same manner. For some people, the same dose will give acidity. For some people, it may give relief. For some people, that may not be sufficient to give you. So that is the part of life, and Ayurveda as a science. Ayurveda name also we call it as science of life or science of knowledge. But that science part of it we should not, and we should not really get trapped into those books. There are two parts, to answer your question, there are two parts in Ayurveda. One part is the Shashwat part. Shashwat part is like Panchamaha. If I ask you add one Mahabhuta in that, can you add that? Can you add 1/6 Mahabhuta today? Even today with understanding of our science, very difficult. 5 Mahabhutas, basic fundamental concept. Tridosha, can you add 4 dosha there? So these are Shashwat. But the medicines, Trifada for example. Trifada, what Charak has said, who knows at that time Avla was in what condition? Environment has changed, people have changed. So if you want to use today Amlati or today Trifada, you have to show that what Charak has observed at that time about Trifada also is reproduced today. And this is applicable to everything. So medicine part of Ayurveda is dynamic. And as science is dynamic, it is not static. So we have to keep the dynamic nature of science if we want to progress it to the next level.
Thank you, Lakshmi Priya. Next question we have from Hema Baba Pillai of SM Institute. Please come forward.
Good afternoon. So my question is that the major issue that we are facing in Ayurveda is the lack of drugs. There is too much of adaptation and availability is not there. So can't we incorporate tissue culture in that?
Yeah, tissue culture is being done as a trial, and tissue culture or in situ conservation. There is an immediate need for conservation because many medicinal plants are on the verge of extinction. Many may have extinct also. So new technologies will have to come in. But while we develop these new technologies, we have to ensure that the efficacy of that part is not compromised. So that has to be continued with pharmacological investigations, clinical investigations, and once you do that, future is that only, because if that plant is not available, if you are not able to grow, if that plant is taking a lot of time to grow, you will have to bring in technologies. tissue culture and in situ conservation, and there are efforts going on. So you will see that at many places now, many drugs actually or many medicinal plants are being tissue cultured. They have been developed. Yes.
Can't we do a gene extraction? Like every drug has a particular action. So there would be a gene which would be doing that action. So can't we extract that particular gene and turn into a capsule or into other forms of medicines?
Yeah, no, gene extraction is not the correct term, because you need not extract or anything gene, but you can identify a gene. You can synthesize a gene and you can actually, but that goes on a reductionist path. That is a different path altogether from Ayurvedic path. Ayurvedic path is a holistic path. Ayurvedic path is considering nature as a whole and you as part of nature. So if there is something wrong in you, then you are trying to correct it. It's like a fingerprint. So if a normal or healthy fingerprint is distorted, you need to bring it back to the normal. That is what is Ayurvedic therapy is all about. So that is considering the whole as against fixing the specific problem. Both are important. So for fixing the specific problem, new drugs also can come in. You can isolate molecules, you can identify genes. All this will happen. But these two roots are different roots. We need not mix them together. While some new molecules like artemisinin may come from plant like say turmeric or ashwagandha. But that doesn't mean that turmeric is equivalent to curcumin. Because there is so much more in turmeric than curcumin. Or there is so much more in ashwagandha than vidanothers. So ashwagandha as a whole, importance must be protected. But at the same time, the possibility of developing new molecule from that cannot be ruled out. In our language, we call it as reverse pharmacology. In pharmacology, drug is developed from laboratory to clinics. In reverse pharmacology, we take drug from clinic and bring it back to the laboratory. So that is a safer and faster path. So yes, the new technologies are to be used and they should be used with caution, not by compromising your fundamental basics of Ayurveda. Science, for convenience of science, you cannot do something. And I will give you one very interesting example for this. I was also a student, PhD student, and my work is on Bhallataka. For those who don't know Bhallataka in Ayurveda or homeopathy, Ayurveda everybody should know Bhallataka. But in homeopathy it is called as semicarpus anacardium, and in homeopathy also you may be using it. Yeah, so doctor can give you more about it. But our project was to isolate anti-cancer principle because Bhallataka is used for cancer. So we were very excited that we can isolate some compound from that and anti-cancer activity. And our collaborator was National Chemical Laboratory, one of the top laboratories. So we isolated everything, separated it out, and we were testing on animals. And that was eye-opener for me. From there also, I also changed from a typical reductionist, narrowly thinking biochemist to look at Ayurveda from a more holistic point. So when we started giving this extracts to animals, what animal? It is called as percentage increase in lifespan. We induce some cancer cells in animals, so we know that how many days that animal is going to live. So anything more they live, that is the benefit, that is increase in lifespan. So more increase in lifespan, better is a drug. So Bhallataka, when we started giving them pure drugs, there was no effect. But crude Bhallataka was showing almost 80% increase in lifespan. So crude Bhallataka was active. When we isolated, it was not active. So something is acting in synergism inside our body. We don't know. So if we don't know, we should not touch it. And second example is whatever we isolated, it doesn't mean that it is useless. So Bhallataka at my during my childhood I was using it, my grandmother was using it when there is a deep wound, you know. That time tetanus injection was not very easy to take. So they used to put immediately that Ballasaka 40 said, has to be alright, no pain, everything. So it was in my mind, so I thought that I should test it for Clostridium tetani. So I tested the same molecule on Clostridium tetani and we killed Clostridium tetani in nanogram level. So it was bacteria scheduled, so we published that paper. So Ballataka showed a specific anaerobic inhibitor which matches with its uses which are given in Ayurveda. So sometimes you may get, sometimes you may. So you should not insist, and most importantly, you should not compromise your principles for that. Yeah.
Thank you. We have a lot of questions coming in.
I know. I told you that you'll have to stop there because nobody was ready to answer.
Yes, so we have a couple of questions from homeopathy as well. From Rini.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. My question is that we know that we are the Ayush hub and we can show our potential to the world. But what is the actual obstacle that make us to start an international institute, and that institute can provide this both UG and PG courses for the students who are interested to study from the outside country, and we can invite them, they can learn, and they'll go to their country and they'll spread it there, and even we can import our drugs to them, and that will be an economical benefits will be there as side also. And what is the main obstacle that we are facing in starting an institute, like both from the central government, because I think national institutes are there, but we don't have any international institute, like as we said that the way the PRRs, how we are practicing homeopathy or the Ayurveda system in the PRRs from, that is how the outside people are asking them. So what is the obstacle for that? And another question is we are facing many problems in the drug standardization, and practically how we can, because medicinal pharmacies are making the medicines and we are getting the medicines from them and we are just giving that to the patients. We don't know we believe that they are following the standards prescribed by the government. We feel that, but how we can implement it in a more transparent way? Is there any practical things that we can implement to make medicine standardization more transparent? These are my questions. Thank you.
See, the second question regarding the quality of the medicine available. We have the homeopathic pharmacopoeia lab under the central government, and they are the ones who are regulating the quality of the medicines. Of course, there are some lacunas here and there, but still when we look at the last 25 years, we can see that a tremendous improvement has happened in various fields. And now many people around the globe are thinking that homeopathic medicines are better than made in Germany or in France or in America. So we are growing on that. Second point is we can't have an international center to teach these Ayurveda systems. One problem which I have seen is most of the people who are interested in Ayurveda systems, like homeopathy, Ayurveda, etc., are allopathic doctors. They already have studied for 10 years, got a degree or post-graduation. After that they worked in a hospital. They were still working in the hospitals. And there are most of the, you might have seen in my seminars and all, most of the doctors are above the age of, the average age is 45, 50. And in the Western countries, you can't see a continuous full-time course for this, anything. They want short-term courses. Maybe a course of 6 months or 1 year is that what they wanted. Even then, there is another problem in the medical field. The degree and diploma or the post-graduation of India is not accepted by England. Then in England it is not accepted by the USA. Like that, the medical associations or the medical councils which regulate the homeopathic education or any medical education has its own, allopathic doctors going to America. They have to study for 2 years again to get a license to practice there. Anywhere it is like that. Vice versa also. This problem also is there. But if you want to start something, first you must have an institute of that level, of that standards first. Second thing is, what type of people are, what type of people we are expecting? What should be the basic degree to enter into this course? Duration of the course. Maybe sometimes it's like, yes, we can have a winter course. Because people in Europe, they start going out and study these kind of things during the winter. November, December, January. So that time if we can arrange a 5-year course like that for every 3 months course a year and total 5 years, maybe they will come. That's the problem. And one more thing is, studying Ayurveda or Homeopathy is the most difficult thing than studying allopathy. Many allopathic doctors used to tell me, it's very difficult. Also, in medical education, the biggest hurdle is, we have our theories, we have our principles, but we have to put these principles in practice in that institute and show them. You understood it? It is possible usually only with single individuals. Ayurveda also, you know. Some of the doctors are, you know, there is nothing impossible for them. Because it's all not a standardized process, like in allopathy. All these alternative systems are individual, depends on the individual skill. That's why the doctors differ. The other one, not standardization. These are the problems.
Thank you, Vinny, for the question.
Yeah, but the institute is international sector is coming in India. During COVID time, the Ministry of Ayush did a huge amount of work. You know, as was told, I was chairman of the National Task Force Against COVID. And our task force conducted more than 126 clinical trials. Out of that, I think about 15 were of homeopathy, about 35 were of Ayurveda, about similar number on yoga, all put together 136 clinical trials we conducted. And most of them were registered in clinical trial registry, CTRI, what we call it as. And many of the models were randomized controlled clinical trials, which is the highest in the evidence. And about 25 papers in PubMed have already been published, which have shown benefits of these systems. Simple thing like taking kada, people have prevented COVID. There is a data. There is an app called Ayush Sanjivani app. In that, I think to date about 2 crore people have downloaded that app, and in a questionnaire which was there on app, 80% of them have said that they have used Ayush in some way or other. So seeing all these developments, what happened, and seeing the strengths of Ayush system, WHO has decided to establish its first global center on traditional medicine in India. This is going to be the first center outside Geneva, which will be established by WHO. And it will be established, it has been established last year actually. Prime Minister and WHO DG, both of them inaugurated it. You may have read the news also. And the construction of the interim office is complete. I just visited that last month. And new center building is coming up. In 1 or 2 years, the full center will be functional. Why in Jamnagar? Because Jamnagar was the first Ayurvedic university in India. And Jamnagar also has WHO collaborating center in pharmacovigilance already. Therefore, Jamnagar was selected. But this is a major opportunity for us. The global center is coming to our country. So that kind of a visibility which you require. So all the countries, top people will be coming here, and alongside that center is what earlier was known as university, now it is ITRA, Institute for Ayurveda Research and something in research, Ayurveda. So this is what we call it as Institute of National Importance, meaning equivalent to IITs or AIIMS. So that institute also has come in Jamnagar. A lot of investment is going, and when I visited, I actually saw students from, I think, some 13, 14 countries were already there who are undergoing full BAMS course. Full BAMS course. And for them, they have created a separate batch. So there is a separate batch, separate classes happen for them, but no dilution in the education which is being given to them. In addition, Ministry of Ayush also has come up with special short-term courses for international doctors. They also have started coming here, and they come here for a short time because already they are doctors. So they get short-term structured training in Ayurveda or Homeopathy or Siddha or Unani or these systems of medicine. So this is already happening. It will only get strengthened as we progress.
Thank you, sir, for clarification. Next, we have a question from Mr. Yasser of Government Ayurveda College, Tripura.
Afternoon, sir. Sir, these days Ayurveda is seen to be popularized along with certain packaged products and packaged medicines. And a massive popularity is arising for them also. But we are taught to analyze the nature of a person and every aspect of a person to treat. But it is not happening now, and Ayurveda is advertising another way. So please comment about the righteousness of this scenario.
Yeah, actually, somehow Ayurveda started following the process of modern medicine. This was not the original Ayurveda, because original Ayurveda, Vaidya used to prepare their own medicine freshly and they used to give. But then the technology has changed, developed, so industries have come in, and doctors have got no habit of prescribing. Earlier, Vaidyas were not prescribing, they were preparing their own medicine. So this prescription-based practice also has brought in commercialization in the whole process, which is one of the setbacks to actual Ayurveda practice. And because of this, so many irrational formulations also have come in the market. And there is a big issue of the quality of medicine. It was discussed earlier also. Quality of medicine is a major question because what you are getting, whether you are able to get a consistent quality, because that will depend on the whether the person is getting benefit or not. So this is a complex issue, and Ayurvedic practitioners will have to really go back to their own roots, I would say. You should not. Homeopathy also go back to their own roots. Homeopathic also they have started because many states have given you permission to practice allopathy. There is no harm in practicing the allopathic emergency medicine if you are trained in. Because Supreme Court is telling you that you should use only those practices in which you have a training. Your training is in Ayurveda basic, so you should stick to that. And we have actually studied this. There is a misnomer in our mind that Ayurveda is equivalent to herbal medicine or Ayurveda is equivalent to some kind of a medicine. Actually, 70% of Ayurveda is physiology. Only 30% of Ayurveda requires pharmacology. Pharmacology meaning some medicine. Why do you require medicine? Follow Charak. Many conditions of today, you will be able to handle only based on your swastham or dinacharya, rutucharya and ahar vihar. You don't need medicines actually. Only in some cases, where medicines will be needed, there you will have to go more for traditional medicines which are reputed, like Ayurveda or such companies. Only use them sparingly. Don't start using medicine rampantly and don't start thinking that Ayurveda means I am going to give you long list of prescription medicine. That is not Ayurveda practice. And is telling homeopathy also the same.
That is always the classical and the non-classical.
Thank you, Asa, for the question. Unfortunately, we do not have much time to go ahead with the questions. So, we do not have so much time with the questions. So, would it be possible, like, if we can actually get the questions from you and give it to you by email or something, will they be getting back?
I can send it to you.
Yeah, so probably that might work. I know I have the list with me, so but my hands are tied as of now.
But the final message to all of you is keep in the spirit, believe in yourself, you are at good time, and don't compromise on your values, on your knowledge. At the same time, keep your minds open. Don't close your mind. Don't say that Charak has said it, so I'll blindly follow. Say, Charak is telling you, do not follow me blindly. That's what Charak has said. So knowledge from any stream is important and you should be open for that. Those are the wise people who take knowledge from everywhere. So don't consider what is there in our classical is final and that is only the thing. That is important, that is valuable, that should be from your base, but your mind should be open for new knowledge.
Alright, so we had a very interesting session. Thank you, both of you. We had a very intriguing session. You cannot imagine the excitement that the non-Ayurvedic and homeopathic people feel here, including me. So next we will like to conclude the session by presenting the memento to both our esteemed speakers. Firstly, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Bhushan Patwardhanji for accepting the memento from one of our program managers, Infancy Francis.
So that you can get a good photo. You also come. You also need to be pictured. You are coordinating the whole show.
Thank you, sir. Now, next one for Dr. Jose Isaac, sir, for presenting the memento. So with a very informal conversation as of now, we thank you all for giving the patience to listen to their words and also bringing up the questions as well. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we couldn't complete it, but we are very much interested to hear the questions from you. So we'll give you the, just contact us after the session and we'll give you the details how to go about with it. Now, next we'll be moving forward to the lunch, which will be given to you in the place where you had your breakfast in the morning today. So please assemble there for your lunch, and we'll come back by 2 o'clock for the next session of discussions. All right? So until then, thank you all for coming in. Thank you so much, sirs, for having a great session today. Students, please make this fast because we don't have time to lose, and we will have to wind up the session by 4:45 at any cost. So please do not just stand there. Just come and as we said, in the college Vaidyanathan, all 23 came back. No. Okay, you yourselves are one group. So that's why bring yourselves in this formation. Whoever is there right now, get yourselves in this formation. Okay? Your group number 4. Remember that, okay?
Group number 4 is ready with everyone. Group number 5. You got everyone in the group? Those who are in the hall, you can join your groups. And then we'll start the discussion. And the others, when they come, they can join.
Students, we are not waiting any longer. We are going to start. So just before that, I'm just going to make sure that you are all sitting in the same groups. So as I mentioned, Dr. Padia College, Government Homeopathy College, Calicut, Sri Vidyadharana Homeopathy College, all in group number 1, which is this. Everybody is covered, yes? Yeah. So they are supposed to form together. Now, second group, Manna, MBR, Ayurveda College, Kannur, and Nangailu. All are reached. Okay. Now group number 3, PNN, Government Ayurveda Tripura, Pandijagastari Kataka. All reached. There are 3. Okay. Only that. You have their numbers? Okay. Let them come. All right. But write them all together. All have reached. Okay. BPSV, KMCT, SM Institute, Puttur, Ahalya. All have reached? Finally, Vishnu Ayurveda, Government Ayurveda, Trivandrum and Shantigiri. All have reached? No.
So we will start with a brief introduction about what is meant by forestry knowledge economy in Kerala. There was a detailed introduction in the morning session. The CM was detailed everything. I think you have noted the important points so that we can derive the recommendations easily. So listen, you can start the discussion after the introduction part. There will be a very short introduction. As you all know, the development of a state is mainly based on natural and human resources. That's a very simple thing. And Kerala, our funding the development was mainly focused on the social developments and investment was based on the infrastructure developments. That was being focused. And recently, we need to focus in the knowledge or wisdom based on the human resource. Because the country with more knowledge, that will be considered as the country with more power. That is the recent trend in the entire world. So India, you know that we have lot of younger population, which is one of the highest with the younger population, and we have such a knowledge pool in India and especially in Kerala because of the education system which is more developed. There are 3 pillars of knowledge economy in Kerala. This is a manifesto which was published by Dr. Thomas Isaac, who was the finance minister, which is based on 3 factors. Did you anyone listen to the CM's talk? Yeah. Mainly it was based on these points. Digital infrastructure, that we are familiar with the internet availability and like artificial intelligence, IT related matters. E-commerce, digital services, which is contributing to the growth of industrial and social developments. When it comes to higher education system, it is being focused on higher education as well as the technical training portion. We have a lot of unemployed educated youth in Kerala, and there are a lot of persons remain in the house, especially women, and the number is around 5 million in Kerala. And also the enrollment ratio in Kerala to higher education is very less, which is 37%. And the government is trying to increase it by, anyone can mention it? CM mentioned that percentage to 75, yeah. And the next one is Kerala and Innovation Society. Here the knowledge, the existing or a new knowledge, which can be transformed into a product or a process, or it can be an organization so that it is contributing to the economic growth of the state. This is what we have to focus. Each ചകിരിച്ചോറിൽ നിന്നും പ്ലൈവുഡ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ഒരു knowledge, that was a knowledge, that was an existing knowledge. It became a plywood industry, and that was in turn contributing to the economic growth of the state. ഇതാണ് ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയാനുള്ളത്. അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആയുർവേദ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹോമിയോപ്പതി റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ that will be good. Next. And that 3 pillars was based on this World Bank, which had 4 pillars of knowledge economy, and the Kerala, the previous slide, which is based on actually this one. The 4 critical requisites for a country is education, training, information infrastructure, economic incentives and institutional regime, innovation systems. See the innovation systems. The previous slide it was Kerala as an innovation society. That was derived based on this particular point. You can go through the slides. Next. And there is a global knowledge index. This is the knowledge index based on that World Bank, or it was a UNDP program, this global knowledge index. And in India it is 41.52. The rank is 91st rank out of 132 countries. And the world average is 46. That is the global knowledge index in India. We are from Kerala and we have such a educated younger generations, and we can contribute much to increase the global knowledge index of the country. So we can start your discussions based on these inputs, and CM, he had detailed everything based on all these points. So you can think of all those points, and we are expecting 6 recommendations from each group. We will be distributed a paper. So once you are ready with first recommendation, either the person or one group leader can come forward and you can share it with everyone fast. So you can include your coordinators in your group so that they will be able to give you more inputs.
Just discuss among yourselves about the points that she has already given you, and then bring about your points in there, okay?
And we will see which group is ready with the first recommendation. You can raise your hand when you are ready with your recommendation. Group 1 is ready. Group 2, ready with your recommendation? Homeopathy group, you have Dr. Joe Sir along with you, so you can, anyone can initiate. You can start talking first. We have only 5 minutes to derive 6 recommendations. So fast. Group 4. Group 4 is ready with your recommendations. You have to write a recommendation on the paper, on the sheet which is given to you. These recommendations. good leader can come and present. If you have time. We have very less time, 5 minutes. Go. So it's time that we need to stop the discussions. Ayurveda college is ready to give you recommendations, and I invite the group leader to come and present. You can present the points which is ready. You can introduce yourself and you can. So group number, listen, it's time, we have very less time. Before 3 o'clock we need to assemble in the main hall. So group number 4 is presenting their recommendations. Let us listen to it.
Hello, myself Dayalama and I am from Ayurveda College, Sulu. We are presenting 3 ideas basically. All of them are related to Ayurveda and its basics. The first among them is that this is a scenario where the antibiotic resistance is being discussed a lot. In US itself, there is a mortality rate of 23,000 per year on the basis of antibiotic resistance. So, in many countries, Kerala being one of the states that we use antibiotics in a much prevalent rate. This is a scenario that is going to happen in Kerala, where the antibiotic resistance is going to dominate our disease conditions. That means the deaths will increase rather than disease, the deaths will be due to antibiotic resistance. So isn't this the perfect time to introduce the integrated system of medicine, where the emergency is being based on the emergency of the condition, the emergency of the disease condition, method of treatment is being designed based on the emergency. Like if it's really emergency, it will go to allopathy. After a cure, it will go to other systems of medicine where we can retain the health condition and boost the immune system. So this is one of the ideas that we came up with. Another one is that in Kerala we are having the tourism, and the tourism most of it is focusing on this Ayurveda, and it's like a sector of the tourism is like Ayurveda. So nowadays we can say that the current scenario is that the Ayurveda is not being followed as such. The basics and the rules are not being followed in such a way that these corporates and other investors are taking on the name of Ayurveda is also their business and all. So the rules over the Ayurveda is being followed. So isn't it better to introduce a system where a doctor is there, the person is there, to analyze the situation, analyze the physical condition, replicate our orders and funds, and to give the patient a quality rather than overthrowing harm. It will be a better opportunity for us as our physician and as a traditional medicine, because we can come out in a much wider way outside of it. And also we can give the quality of that covers the important. Another one is that we are lacking the raw materials nowadays. Nowadays we are not getting the raw materials as such. For example, many of the raw materials that we are getting are altered. So in order to get a much better resource, raw material resource, we need to increase this production. So why can't we bring this production and bring that production to other companies like companies like institutions and all, so that we students could get a better knowledge of that thing, and also we will get the production requirement. So that is what I was saying.
Thank you so much. So she was suggesting antibiotic resistance and an integral approach which is required to promote Ayurveda when it comes to tourism. Next group, it's not necessary that you need to be ready with 6. If it is 2, you can come and research. Or else it's time that we need to stop discussion. Hope that you have written the points which is derived from your group, the sheet which is given to you. The next group is ready. Let us listen to her. You just introduce yourself.
കൊടുക്കാറ്. ആദ്യമായിട്ട് വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന സജഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ PG തീസിസ് അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും സ്റ്റഡികൾ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റേഷനെ കുറിച്ചോ സ്റ്റാൻഡർഡൈസേഷനെ കുറിച്ചോ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് കോവേഡുകൾ വേണ്ടി വരുന്നത് മറ്റു കോളേജുകളിൽ നിന്നാണ് ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റേഷന്റെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് ഡോക്ടേഴ്സിനെ കുറിച്ച് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഫീൽഡ് നമുക്ക് അധികം പരിചയമില്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റേഷൻ നമ്മളെ കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ സാധ്യമാകുന്നതല്ല. നേരെ മറിച്ചൊരു മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണ് ഇതൊരു PG തീസിസ് ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കുന്നെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ അവരെ അസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ മാത്രം മതിയായിരിക്കും. പക്ഷേ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റേഷൻ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ കൂടുതൽ പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ആവുകയും ചെയ്യും. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു ബയോകെമിസ്ട്രി സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ആണ് ഒരു ഡ്രഗിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള സ്റ്റഡി നടത്തുന്നതെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചും കൂടി എളുപ്പമായിരിക്കും അത് വാലിഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി. അതേപോലെ സാൻസ്ക്രിറ്റ് ലാംഗ്വേജസ് പഠിക്കുന്ന സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് മാനുസ്ക്രിപ്റ്റോളജിയിലൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന റോളുകൾ വലുതായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ബാക്കി മേഖലകളിലേക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ തന്നെ അവർക്കും കൂടെ നല്ല മേഖല പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തി കൊടുക്കുക. അവർക്കും കൂടെ സ്റ്റഡീസിൽ നമ്മുടെ മേഖല ഉൾപ്പെടുത്താൻ പറ്റിയാൽ അത് വളരെ നന്നായിരിക്കും തോന്നും. എനിക്ക് മാത്രമേ ആയുർവേദം ഡെവലപ്പ് ആവുന്നുള്ളൂ. ഒരു സിംഗിൾ ഡ്രഗ് സ്റ്റഡി നടന്നാൽ അതിൽ നിന്ന് അഡാപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന നോളജ് പോകുന്നത് മോഡേൺ മെഡിസിനിലേക്കാണ്. അത് നമ്മളെ എത്രത്തോളം ബെനിഫിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് അറിയില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ സയൻസ് വളർത്തണമെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഇന്റർഡിസിപ്ലിനറി അപ്രോച്ച് പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. പിന്നെ ഇതേപോലെ തന്നെ PSC അടുത്തൊരു വർഷമെങ്കിലും പല ബ്രാഞ്ചസ് ചേർന്നിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഡിസ്കഷൻ ഇവിടെ പോസിബിളാക്കിയ കുറച്ചുകൂടി നന്നായിരിക്കും. കാരണം നമുക്ക് അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും അറിയാവുന്നത് വളരെ ലിമിറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ സജഷനാണ്, നമ്മൾ ആയുർവേദത്തിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സ്ഥലം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കേരളം എന്ന് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. നമുക്കൊരു ഓൾ ഇന്ത്യ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ഇല്ല. അപ്പോൾ അതും കൂടെ കേരളത്തിൽ പറ്റുവാണെങ്കിൽ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ജോബ് മാർക്കറ്റ് വളരെ ടൈറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ഉള്ള ഒരു ഫീൽഡാണ് നമുക്ക്. അപ്പോൾ നേരത്തെ ഇപ്പോൾ ഫുഡ് സേഫ്റ്റി ഓഫീസറിന്റെ പോസ്റ്റുകളിലേക്ക് ഫോറൻസിക് മെഡിസിൻ നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ഈ ഒരു പോസ്റ്റുകളിലേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ BMSനെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. മെഡിക്കൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ, സ്പോർട്സ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ, മെഡിക്കൽ ഓഫീസേഴ്സിന്റെ പോസ്റ്റുകളുണ്ട്. ഇതിലൊന്നും നമ്മളെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷേ ഡിപ്ലോമ ഇൻ സ്പോർട്സ് മെഡിസിൻ ആയുർവേദത്തിലുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ജോബ് മാർക്കറ്റിലേക്ക് കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നമ്മളെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്താൽ നമുക്ക് കുറേയധികം.
Thank you so much. We will forward your suggestions to the government. Now we will listen to suggestions from Homeopathy.
First suggestion we have is to start a research wing in every college. We have five colleges are there, two directly under government sector and the three under aided sector. And the thing is that only two colleges are the PG specific PG course, and there only the researchers are happening. So if we implement PG courses in the other three colleges, there also the research thing will start. And the thing is that there we should implement research labs. That is lacking in the colleges. Even we are doing PG, but the thing is that we don't have research lab. We are doing a research, we have to go on, we have to go out and search for some other lab to do the individual studies and all. So research lab implementation and research wing in every college, all five colleges we are requesting that. First request is that, suggestion is that. The next thing is senior house surgeons in rural dispensary posting. That will be better for them to learn more, and employment will also be there. Senior house surgeons in rural dispensaries. That will be benefited for the people also in that rural area. That is also there. The next one is we are requesting for a medicine manufacturing unit under government sector. Actually, we have only one medicine manufacturing unit for homeopathy, that is OMCO, that is under cooperative sector. The thing is that when we are requesting medicines from even our colleges, there is a delay in getting the medicines. And one more thing is that in recent uses we have seen that government of Kerala had undergone some kind of MOU with the other. During the COVID time, homeopathy was pretty famous for the preventive aspect of the system were used more. So that time different countries were undertaking some kind of MOU with the HOMCO. So further progressing that needs of the medicinal needs should be satisfied with single homeopathic pharmaceutical manufacturing unit is not sufficient to meet the all needs from the other countries even. Even that is not sufficient to meet the need from the dispensaries and medical colleges. At present it is not there. So it will not, the pharmacy will not be able to do pharmaceutical manufacturing unit will not be able to do that. if more interests are coming from the other countries even. So we need that. One more thing is that if we are implementing an herbal garden, it is coming at the same point. If we are implementing a herbal garden there botanists will get a job. And when you are doing this pharmacy job, the MD pharmacy staff should be there. So if you are implementing MD pharmacy course in Kerala, all these things are interlinked. So that MD pharmacy student can also come and work here, and chemists can work there, and machinery unit will be there. So machinery operators will get job there, and all the housekeeping staff and kind of material collecting staff from the herbal garden, everybody will get job there. So the manufacturing, and one more thing that serves in the value of medicine which is prepared in Kerala, the demand is very high. So they're getting any number of people from all over India for of course medicine. So this will be an economic thing for the government to follow. Next thing, we are suggesting an infertility center with lab facilities, inpatient facilities, and a mother and child care unit. And everybody will be familiar with this. I suppose that recent news, government has introduced a project called Janani with Sida Lane. In the Janani, we are giving treatment with 50 rupees. Of course, we are giving treatment for the infertility patients with follow-ups and all. And the success rate is very high. Recent trends, you can say, first it was there in three states, three districts actually, Trivandrum, Calicut and Kannur. The success rate was very high. So even without any pressure from the homeopathy community itself, government started it all other districts under district homeopathy hospital. So that is not from the request from the homeopathy fraternity, that is from the request from the public. It was invented, actually they were started it. So what I am requesting is that if you are starting like government started homeopathy cancer center in Vandu. So that same way, if you are starting implementing a homeopathy infertility center with all facilities, like you are how you are implementing aims in different states, if you are implementing this kind of infertility centers in an area where these kind of cases are more according to the statistics. So if you are doing that, that will be helpful. And same thing, finance minister said about, appreciated about the same thing in 2018 and 19 economic survey presented in parliament. So that would be a better suggestion to the government. And next thing, we are interested in promoting an integrated medicine. Like integrated medicine with wellness center, if you are doing, that then we can do integrated studies with institutions and all the dispensaries. Everywhere, if you are doing medicine system in an integrated way, we'll get more valid evidence related to each and every system. If they are not able to do that, we'll be able to do, or the other system, other alternative system will be able to do that. We can do a research in that way also. And collaboration with existing cancer centers. You know, everybody is well aware of this because after a certain stage, the cancer, the allopathy hospitals or medical colleges will not make the patient to stay in the hospital. They say this is the last stage you can go to home. That is the way how they express. If you are implementing a cancer center like collaboration with all the cancer centers, if they are saying no, we'll say yes. We'll do what we can do for them. Because these kind of end-stage cancer cases currently we are treating. They said 1 year duration for the patient, but still the patient is alive actually. So that kind of approach we can do if we are doing existing cancer centers. We are asking for not to start another cancer center. Existing cancer center, if you are starting in Ayurveda or homeopathic view, what we can do, we can implement that. And homeopathy can be included in last one. Homeopathy can be included in health tourism, and it can be also used in case of eradication of diseases and immune boosting. In community medicine also we can implement homeopathy.
So that's how homeopathy, the herbal was very good suggestions. Let us create it down with the Thank you. It's time that we need to stop presentation. So, whether anybody needs to get the final chance. 1 or 2 minutes only, maximum 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a recommendation. First one is privatization of the tourism sector, which provides Ayurvedic treatment for us without considering scientific aspect of it, and providing the same quality of treatment under the guidance of a licensed Ayurvedic practitioner appointed by the government is a government resource which is completely under the government. And that is, we are actually taking it away from them and we are doing it. So that the income or the profit that
much. Here we stop the discussions as we do not have much time. So we have got the last group is requesting for 1 minute. Yeah. Amala.
Hello, we are the fifth group. Almost 4 colleges are over here. So we have mainly 3 suggestions to make. The first one is about incorporation of Ayurvedic knowledge, basic Ayurvedic knowledge in school level. We all know we have studied about biology, cell knowledge, physiology from almost 8th standard, and we have been exposed to modern science from that level. That's why we are crazy about everything. So why don't we incorporate our knowledge, Ayurvedic basic knowledge, in our school education system, so that few of us select Ayurveda as a career, as our own option, not as something that we got out of it. Okay, so that's the first point. Second thing is toxicology. We all know that we are very famous in case of antivenoms, especially in snake bite and all, we give antivenoms. But we are very rarely concerned about the factors that comes after as a complication of antivenom. So where Ayurveda can intervene in a large amount by giving our complication treatments to antivenom. So incorporation of toxicology, that is Ayurvedic toxicology is called as Agadavatra with antivenom treatment so that we can manage the complications of antivenom. The next one is our entire topic. This is the last one, I promise. Our entire topic was about fostering the knowledge economy in Kerala. So if you have to foster the knowledge economy in Kerala, we need more people outside Kerala, outside India to come to Kerala and study here. So they have to come here. It has to be attractive. We go outside of Kerala because of few things. And I would like to mention that we need more campus selection. We know that in medical department we don't find them. At least pay for the HS degree that we do. Now HS we used to do HS, isn't it? Most of us are not paid for our HS. So at least that can act as an attractive factor to other people or other students outside Kerala. Second one is PG seats. The PG seats that we have in Kerala are very less. That can also add to fostering the knowledge economy. Stipend, of course, that I have already mentioned. So these are the few things that we as a team want to incorporate into the CM's policy. Thank you.
So we have around 20 colleges, 20 coordinators, and more than 100 students who gathered here today for the PSS event. And I know that some of you have taken a lot of effort to reach here in the venue, especially from those who are coming from the Trivandrum, Kannur, Kasaragod and those sides. Anyway, we appreciate and we are very much thankful for the efforts that you have taken. And I hope that this session, throughout this day, it was very fruitful and you will consider it as something which is very valuable.
Please note that these recommendations will not go to waste here, because already your recommendations have already been taken into the Google Sheets, which was given to you over mail. These recommendations will also be taken into account and will be given to the government, UP. Once this program is done and we do the recommendations from our end, all these recommendations will go to the government. So, be proud of yourselves that you are actually talking to the government and asking to do the right thing for the people of India, especially India. Thank you all for coming. So, since we have already come to the conclusion of this session, please, you can